Hi, Scott. Thank you for having me here. You know that this is a deeply important topic for me, and that I've been doing the decolonization work for years, but only in the last few years have I really understood how I've been perpetuating harm and how I've been also perpetuating a system that hurts the people that I love, including myself. So I'm so grateful that you invited me here to just share some things that I've learned. And this question, what are some practical steps that we can take to genuinely reduce social and racial injustice? The first thing I'd like to suggest is to self-reflect. Number one, to look at the ways that you struggle to love yourself, the places where you deem yourself unworthy of love, the places and the ways that you contort your body, beauty, or behavior to fit into a social norm, the places where you've been desensitized to the naturalness of your body, of your emotions, and of the feelings of others. Just take that in for a moment. These are the places that we've been taught to dehumanize ourselves from years of social conditioning and colonization. These are the places where we also dehumanize others to create separation. Number two, I suggest that you dig into your ancestry. Look at the ways that your lineage has been harmed or benefited by aligning with the dominant narrative of their time. Take some time to feel into their lives, their struggles, their wins. Feel how their experiences impacted the lives of your great-grandparents, their grandchildren, your parents. See how their experiences still impact you. And this is how white supremacy still harms all people. Now think about the generational impact on other people, how their generational trauma continues in their bloodlines. Look at the deeply ingrained gender stereotypes and prejudices from centuries of patriarchy that have created sexism and masculinism. This is all part of the system, right? My third tip is to pay attention to your language and what you associate. What words do you use daily? What words do you associate groups of people to? Like women or men, Black people or Hispanic people. What words do you use that continues to create narratives of aggression and violence? Paying special attention to the ways that you think people should be or should be their behavior. Pay special attention to your judgments. If you believe you don't have judgments, look deeper. Because judgments are the degradations of another's life, a separating them from the worthiness of love, to separate them from God. Look at the words that you use of separation, and I'm going to give a pretty broad example, but for master and slave, look at these words. Do you know where the term master suite comes from? I believe that through our language and the disembodiment is how we continue to perpetuate white supremacy. Here are a few characteristics of white supremacy culture, and I'm going to name them. There's a lot of them. Perfectionism, a sense of urgency, defensiveness, quantity over quality, worship over the written word, only one right way, paternalism, either or thinking, power hoarding, fear of open conflict, individualism, I am the only one, more or progress is bigger and better, objectivity, the right to comfort or being comfortable. I know those are big, so take a deep breath. My fifth step, I suppose, was to take some time to educate yourself on history, like redlining, history of social welfare, solutions to poverty in the US, how generational trauma impacts children, why children are the poorest group in America, the statistics and causes of domestic violence. There's so many things that you can research. Just start looking, because we get to see how our education is, how white supremacy is perpetuated through the dehumanization of ourselves, through the desensitization of our languages, and through our miseducation. My last step is to learn to feel your feelings, to cultivate new skills of processing and communicating your sadness, your anger, your fear, your feelings, the truth, the vulnerable pieces. And most of all, be compassionate with yourself. When we learn to actively be connected to our bodies, when we find ways to communicate without aggression, and when we love ourselves just as we are, we're breaking the cycle of aggression that has dominated the evolution of humanity. This is where I would start if I truly wanted to love people more deeply. This is where I would start. It's just looking at how these narratives touch my own life, my own family, how I contort, how I'm unworthy of love, and really start to look at those ideas, those concepts, because those are the concepts that we perpetuate. It's in our language, it's in our education, it's in our culture. And then I would take a nice deep breath in, and I'd find more compassion for myself, and that's where we can change. We can change through being aware. We can change through being educated ourselves. And we can really change through actively choosing to do something different from a highly educated place, a highly understood place, a highly empathetic place. So Scott, thank you so much.